I entirely beg you, people and government of the DPR Korea, for your forgiveness. Please, I have made the worst mistake of my life.
Otto Warmbier was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor in North Korea in March 2016.
He was used as a political pawn, a hostage. Everybody knows it. It's absurd to think anything different.
He had been accused of attempting to steal a propaganda poster from his hotel in Pyongyang while visiting the country.
I understand the severity of my crime, and I have no idea what sort of penalty I may face. But I am begging to the Korean people and government for my forgiveness, and I am praying to the heavens so that I may be returned home to my family.
17 months later, he was carried off a plane on US soil, unable to walk, talk, or respond to verbal commands.
The look in his eyes, which I didn't know he was blind at the time, was absolute horror. Horror, like he'd seen the devil, and he had. He was with the devil.
Tragically, he passed away just days after.
The North Koreans are horrible people. The regime is horrible, disgusting human beings, criminals, thugs. It's a criminal enterprise in a concentration camp.
Warmbier, then 21, went to North Korea on a 5-day visit with a tour group called Young Pioneers Tours.
And we're going to show you all the facilities and everything this hotel has to offer for all the tourists that come into Pyongyang in North Korea. Let's go.
Operating from China, they offer package tours to so-called destinations your mother would rather you avoid. Otto Warmbier was arrested on January 2nd, 2016 at the airport as he was preparing to leave North Korea.
Everybody on the plane was just completely silent. Nobody wanted to leave, and we had no choice.
3 weeks later, the North Korean government publicly announced that Warmbier was being held for committing a hostile act against the state. North Korea accused Otto of trying to steal a propaganda poster from a restricted area at his hotel. Charged with subversion, he was hauled before the cameras to make what his parents insist was a staged confession.
On the early morning of January 1st, 2016, I committed my crime. I never should have allowed myself to be allured by the United States administration to commit a crime in this country. Please save my life. Please think of my family.
2 weeks after his confession, he was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor and vanished into North Korea's notorious prison system.
They're in very dire conditions at these prisons. They don't get proper medical care. Some are put in work and labor camps. This is a very cruel regime.
I have been very impressed by the Korean government's humanitarian treatment of severe criminals like myself.
The only proof the North Koreans had of Otto's crime was grainy and inconclusive surveillance footage.
Everything about the whole story was fabricated, in my opinion.
According to others on the tour with him, Otto wasn't even at the hotel at the time, so the shadowy figure simply can't be him. Just a few days after Otto was seized, North Korea carried out its first nuclear test in 3 years.
It's the scariest place in the world.
Tensions with the rest of the world were suddenly at an all-time high, and Otto became their human shield against any international backlash. Terrified for his safety, Otto's parents never ceased to appeal for his release.
Stay strong, and we'll be fine as a family as soon as you get home.
After 17 months of diplomatic efforts, his release was finally secured.
He is on his way en route home to be reunited with his family.
A lot of bad things happened, but at least we got him home to be with his parents.
Warmbier was evacuated from North Korea, accompanied by a medical team and a US State Department official.
That whole time, we were told he was in perfect health.
By the North Koreans, by the CIA, by our State Department, that he's in perfect health, he's working at a camp. All their intelligence tells them that.
However, it quickly came to light that for 15 of the months he had spent in captivity, he'd been in a coma with a catastrophic brain injury. Despite efforts to treat him, Warmbier passed away, surrounded by his family, shortly after his return.
I knelt down by his side and I hugged him, and I told him I missed him and I was so glad that he made it home.
He was only 22 years old.
네, 미국의 의학이 발전했다고 하는 미국에 가서 6일 만에 완비어가 죽었다는 것 우리로서 나도 완전히 의문스럽습니다.
North Korea has denied accountability to this day.